Alright, let's talk about one of the most interesting products I've seen in a while. The VMech M1 Hopper. My name's Greg, you're watching How to Play Paintball. Okay, so when I saw this hopper on PBnation, I was very intrigued by it, to say the least. So basically what the VMech M1 is a force feed hopper that does not use batteries. So it's completely mechanical, but it's still going to be able to sustain a higher rate of fire. So I thought, well, that's interesting. So I was able to get a hold of VMech. So thank you to VMech for sending this out to me so I can do a review and just kind of an overview of it. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so first things first, before I take this apart to show you kind of the inside of the actual system, I wanted to get a pod here. It's not completely full. I didn't want to put too much in there. The hopper does hold 120 balls, but the spring actually only lasts for 100, so I don't want to put the whole thing in there. I just want to see about the consistency. So let's go ahead and test this out. Okay, so we got there. All right. All right, overall pretty consistent. Okay, so to take apart the M1, there are a couple screws. You have a screw in the back here, and then underneath there's that one there. So I'm going to take these out. Okay, so that is the internal system there. So the tray system here, if for some reason you needed to actually go ahead and clean it out, this you just kind of pull back on it and then you pull forward, and there's two little tracks here on either side of where that auger is, and that is going to let you slide it forward. Now you do to just kind of basically like pop it off, and then to put it back on, you just go in reverse, make sure that the track, it'll kind of clip in. You can kind of push down on it, or if you want to try to slide it back, you could try to do that. Alright, so I wanted to show how this auger system actually works. You can kind of test out popcorning as well. So I'm just going to put a little bit of paint there so that way we can see it and it's not going to fall off of my table here. Now remember, basically when it stops like that, it's just stopping the auger. So it's always going to have that a little bit when there's nothing stopping it. I just want to make sure that we have enough spins. It's probably going to be too much, but I'd rather go a little bit too much than not enough. Okay, put that underneath there, and let's let her rip. All right, so a little bit at the end, you saw, I mean, there's one or two balls at the end that took a little bit longer to get in there, but overall the system, I mean, it works pretty well, and it seems like it's pretty good on paint as well. I mean, this seems a little bit rough here. So for tournament paint not to be breaking on these, that's pretty solid. And it seems like this system here, the ramp works pretty well. Yeah, so that is the internals there. Okay, so the actual system in here, you should never need to clean this out. I mean, obviously you never need to take this apart because you don't ever need to put batteries in there. So you should never have to take this apart. I mean, it's just basically that little system there. So there's a spring inside here. If for some reason you did need to take it apart, let's see if I can get this in the frame here. In here are two screws, and that's going to help you to release. And then you also have these two screws at the bottom here and here. And that way you're going to be able to get into whatever it is that you would need to. But I'm not going to recommend it just because you don't want to mess anything up on accident. Okay, so putting it back together, you just do everything in reverse. So we'll set that top nose piece. So we'll set that top piece on there like that, so that way it's all sealed up. And we'll get our Phillips head. And we are all set. So overall, what can I say about the VMech M1? Interesting. and original. That's really all I can really put to this. Now, it's original in the sense of the no battery required system that they have. It's not necessarily original in the auger system. So that auger system, if you guys remember the NXT Journey, if you guys are still newer to paintball, then that's not going to mean anything to you. But the NXT Journey was a hopper that was going to come out, and there's still a couple that are out there floating around, but they had that auger system instead of it being like a paddle system. So it's just something different, and VMech, I guess, was able to use that design, so more power to them. I know that they do have now it's like a different crank system, so it's not this paddle one anymore. Not that that was a huge issue. I mean, to turn it, I guess just being able to turn it like that, it would be a little bit faster, but it's not like it takes long to speed that up. As I said earlier, they have that system in here that it's like a little plate that you can put inside the hopper, so that way it fills up only 100 balls, and you're able to just shoot the 100 that the spring is going to be able to last for. So that was a weird design choice of theirs to go to the 120. I'm not really sure the thought process behind that, other than, okay, well, they can just turn it. But if you just want to go out and mess around with some recreational players, I think this would be great to go out with. So only putting in 100 balls and kind of challenge yourself and go have fun. Yeah, so overall, like I said, all I can really say is interesting. It's just interesting. I really don't know what to say about it, because it's not something I'm going to be using out on the field. When I have to sit there and be laning, if I had to also turn something, for the tournament player, this is not your hopper. This is not going to be the hopper that you go out and go play a tournament with. If you're a tournament player and you still like to go out and kind of just mess around and have fun, this isn't going to scare rentals. It's not going to scare anyone like that, because it doesn't really look intimidating. It's not like if you put this on top of a like just a regular mech gun, it's going to be inconspicuous enough that they're not going to be scared of it, and you want people to come into paintball. So I wouldn't recommend, and I know this is kind of a separate video or a separate topic, you don't want to scare people away from paintball. So if I go out with my ML Kings jersey and I have all that stuff on, it's going to scare some of the newer players, and I want them to stay in the league now, or in the sport, and eventually come into tournament paintball. So this is something that you would use if you just wanted to go out, like I said, with like a pump, or if you had like a mech gun, like a cocker, if you had any of the mechanical guns that are out there that people are coming out with, and you just wanted to go mess around and have fun. It's just going to help keep that feed rate going well, so that way you don't have to worry about chopping a ball or whatever. It's going to be able to feed consistent enough. Yeah, that's about it. Have you guys tried this thing? Is this a hopper that you've used before? Is it something that you've been able to at least see or kind of test out? Tell me about what you think in the comments down below, and be sure to click like and subscribe if you haven't already. But as always, guys, remember, watch, learn, win. Thanks.